the I Ching. Title: The I Ching, the meaning and content of Qi. Laozi said, "Man follows the earth, earth follows heaven, heaven follows the Tao, and the Tao follows what is natural." Ancients, in their quest to understand meteorological changes, turned to astronomical observations, thereby discovering the principles of I Ching. This concept is rooted in the idea of imitating nature. It's based on the objective laws of existence. What are these laws? They refer to the 5 movements and 6 qi in the universe. Yun refers to the movement of celestial bodies. The ancients observed the sky from 5 directions: east, west, south, north, and the center, hence the term 5 movements. This concept forms a part of ancient astronomy. Qi denotes the meteorological changes resulting from celestial movements. These changes encompass 6 different types of wind: cold, heat, warmth, dryness, and fire, collectively known as the 6 qi. The 6 qi essentially represent a form of ancient meteorology. The concepts of 5 movements and 6 qi provide the objective basis for the theory of yin and yang and the 5 elements. These laws were discovered through the observation and documentation of changes in the 5 movements and 6 qi. Qi, anciently written as with the components of rice and steam, refers to a vital substance and its transformative energy, essential for life. In nature, Qi is the source of all life and transformation, a result of the movements of celestial bodies. The year is divided into 5 seasons: spring, summer, late summer, autumn, and winter. Correspondingly, natural Qi undergoes changes, manifesting as storms, extreme heat, torrential rain, prolonged drought, and severe cold. The principles of Qi. The changes in Qi do not have a fixed form. Ancient people used the method of observing the form to discern Qi for understanding these changes. They documented Qi through the principles of musical pitches, the 5 musical notes, and water clocks. Celestial bodies like the sun, moon, and stars, being visible, were recorded using calendars. Meteorological changes, being formless and intangible, were documented using the measurements of musical pitches.
According to the ancient method, observe the wind to understand the movement of qi. The direction of the wind was used to interpret the activity of qi, known as fengjiashu, wind angle technique. Following this approach, and in line with the philosophy of unity between heaven and humanity, the ancients connected the 5 elements, 5 qi, and 5 tones, including the 6 qi, to observe the changes in qi between heaven and humanity. Ancients used a 9-inch brass tube filled with a small amount of ash. When the local qi rose, the ash inside the tube would gather at a certain point. If the ash dispersed, it indicated the movement of wind or people. This method was used by the ancients to calculate the central qi. In ancient times, there were 12 musical pipes corresponding to the 12 months. When a particular season arrived, the ash in the pipe corresponding to that month would naturally rise. The rise of the Earth's qi signifies changes in the cosmic atmosphere, which are influenced by the movement of celestial bodies. The primal force of celestial bodies originates from the sun, hence the ancient saying, Lu Lv tunes to the sun. Lu Lv refers to a set of pipes known as Lu. These are 12 bamboo pipes of varying lengths, each producing a standard pitch of different height, used for tuning and known as the 12 Lu. The 12 Lu are divided into yin and yang categories. The 6 Lu corresponding to odd numbers are called yang Lu, and those corresponding to even numbers are called yin Lu. Additionally, the odd-numbered pipes are termed Lu and the even-numbered ones Lv, hence collectively known as Lu Lv. The 6 yang Lu are Huangzhong, Taiku, Guxian, Ruibin, Iza, and Wui. The 6 yin Lu are Daolu, Jiazhong, Zhonglu, Linzhong, Nanlu, and Yingzhong, making up the 12 Lu. The Lu Lv changes according to different concepts of quantity, which include the length, depth, height, distance, and breadth of the pipes. The length of the pipes is known as Lu Shu, Lu numbers. Commonly used Lu numbers for calculations include 1, 3, 63, and 81. This method of using basic units for calculating the Lu numbers is called the Xingjin method. The method of gain and loss. The ancients created Lu pipes by carving bamboo pipes of different lengths for tuning. The Huangzhong pipe was used as a standard, against which the other 12 Lu were compared and aligned with the 12 celestial stems. For example, if the Huangzhong pipe is set as 1, the other Lu are calculated as either 2/3 or 3/4 of it in a progressive alternating sequence, a method known as the gain and loss method. For instance, the Huangzhong pipe is 9 inches long, with an inner diameter of 3 fun and an outer diameter of 9 fun. During the late Zhou dynasty, 1 qi was equal to 23 centimeters. Reducing the Huangzhong pipe by 1/3, which equals 3.5 inches, gives the length of the Nanlu pipe. Increasing the length of the Nanlu pipe by 1/3, which equals 7 inches and 1 fun, gives the length of the Gushi pipe. This process is the application of the 1/3 gain and loss method. The principle of sequential generation. In the natural order of the 12 musical pipes, the harmonic sound is located at the 8th position of the Lu numbers. For example, Linzhong serves as the harmonic sound for Huangzhong. In the sequence of the 12 pipes, Linzhong is exactly at the 8th position from Huangzhong, with Taiku being the harmonic sound for Linzhong. Following this sequence, Taiku, positioned 8th from Linzhong, harmonizes with Nanlu, and so on. The method of Lu numbers. The method of Lu numbers is used for calculating pitches, facilitating an understanding of the 5 musical notes. The order of the pipes from low to high traditionally is gong, shang, ju, ji, yu. However, following the 1/3 gain and loss principle and the principle of sequential generation, the order becomes gong, ji, shang, yu, ju. According to Shiji, Records of Music and Calendar, the gong pitch is set at 81, reducing by 1/3 gives 54 for ji. Increasing by 1/3 gives 72 for shang, reducing by 1/3 gives 48 for yu, and increasing by 1/3 gives 64 for ju. This method incorporates the number 81 into the calculation of Lu numbers. The Lu for all 5 notes are whole numbers, simplifying the calculations. The calculation of ratios in Lu numbers is explained in Perspectives on Lu LV. Dividing the full length once gives 1 times 3 equals 3. Dividing twice gives 1 times 3 times 3 equals 9. Dividing 3 times gives 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. Dividing 4 times gives 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 equals 81. Multiplying 4 times equals 81, which matches the product of 9 times 9. This is the method for calculating the Huangzhong gong string Lu number. 81 is the Lu number for the gong string. Multiplying 81 by 3/4 equals 108, the Lu number for the ji string. 108 multiplied by 2/3 equals 72, the Lu number for the shang string. 72 multiplied by 3/4 equals 96, the Lu number for the yu string. 96 multiplied by 2/3 equals 64, the Lu number for the ju string. 81 is the Lu number for the gong string. Multiplying 81 by 3/4 equals 108, the Lu number for the ji string. 108 multiplied by 2/3 equals 72, the Lu number for the shang string. 72 multiplied by 3/4 equals 96, the Lu number for the yu string. 96 multiplied by 2/3 equals 64, the Lu number for the ju string. During the Sui and Tang dynasties, 20 scales were used. In the Southern Song dynasty, 7 palaces and 12 scales were adopted. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, 5 palaces and 8 scales were utilized. Nowadays, people use 5 palaces and 4 scales. 7 tones. Anciently, there were variations like Qing, Ju, Lu, Ji, including Biangong, Bianji, Qingju, Qingyu, collectively known as the 9-level scale. In practice, Qingju and Qingyu were not used, leaving only a 7-level scale. These variable tones are a half step higher than the normal 5-level scale. Based on the 7-level scale, there are also 84 scales in the 7 tones, also known as the 12 palaces and 72 scales. The 5 tones are insufficient. The term 5 tones are insufficient implies that these tones are either excessive, meaning too much, or lacking, meaning not enough. This concept of excess and deficiency in the 5 tones is used in divining the movement of qi, categorizing them into yin and yang, and integrating them into the celestial stems. Yang stems are associated with the excessive tones, while yin stems are associated with the deficient tones. Water clock. To observe celestial positions and determine seasonal meteorological differences, ancient people needed instruments to measure time. They used a water clock for this purpose. The water clock primarily relied on measuring time by dripping water. A specially made copper pot filled with water was marked with an arrow-shaped scale. As the water dripped down, the scale floated upwards, allowing observers to count the graduations on the scale to measure time.